Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Tonight I'm going to make some dinner. I have some flounder and some carrots. So let's see what we can make. So first thing is first, I need to get these frozen fillets thawed out. So how I'm going to do that is just stick some running water on them and get them defrosted. So this is basically what I'm working with. Frozen solid right now. I'm going to stick them in some water and get these defrosted. So I stuck the fish in this stainless steel mixing bowl, put some water on it. You can keep changing it out every 5 minutes or so until they get soft. Like these are already getting soft after a minute. So you can keep doing that if you need to, if they're thicker or anything like that. But I'm just going to get these thawed and start prepping my carrots. Take a few carrots. Since I can't open the bag. Boom, they're open now. What I like to do, just take your carrot, trim off the top, trim off the bottom, get you a few of these to start off with. So I got about 7 carrots. Thickness doesn't really make a difference for what we're doing, but I got these cut up on the tops and bottoms. So now I'm going to get the outer skin off. So in order to do that, get yourself a vegetable peeler. Just start peeling. Super easy, super messy. If you have any crappy spots, just try to get them off as fast as you can. Alright, so I got the carrots peeled. I got the peels. I'm going to toss those out and show you what to do next. So now, after I tossed out the stuff, I'm just going to make little pieces. Cut them whatever way you want. Try to be as close in size as possible, because how they're going to cook, how we're cooking them, you want everything to cook nice and evenly. But yeah, you're kind of looking for that. They're not going to be perfect, but I'm not a professional chef, so that's what we got working with. So I got my carrots chopped up, not perfect, but it'll work. Alright, so my fish looks like it's just about done. A couple little pieces, but that'll defrost as I get on to the next steps. Alright, so now I got all of my fish pieces out, put them on paper towels, and the key now is to get it as dry as you possibly can. And any overlaps, like here, you just want to get it as dry as possible. So you may need to flip them, put them on more paper towels just to get them all dry. So I'm going to get this as dry as I can, because that's going to lead into the next step. Alright, so I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to make the breading, which is going to be almonds. And then breadcrumbs. Now I'm not going to measure anything, not the measuring type when it comes to food like this. So you just want to eyeball it a little bit, get some in there, and just kind of go from there based off how much you're going to be cooking. So I'm going to grind this up real quick. And if you want to add more, you can add a little less. You know, do your own measurements based off how much you're breading. So now I'm doing the eggs. I got 2 eggs and some heavy creamer in there, just a little bit. And then whatever seasonings you want to use, just put a little bit of each in there. Okay, so now I got my 3 stages. Flour, egg, and breading. Now the reason I put the eggs in the blender is because if you start whisking it with a fork, I don't like the consistency of it. I don't feel it breaks it up enough, and when you start doing your, I guess, dredging, you'll get a lot of excess egg. So now what you're going to do is just take a piece of each, and you don't need to use small little containers like I am. It's just easier for me to clean it up afterwards. So what you're going to do is just put your flour on as best as you can. doing this with one hand, so that's why it's not beautiful. Try to get as much as you can, shake off any of the excess. Then you're going to dip it right into your egg mixture. And you could season as much or as little as you want throughout any of these stages. If you want to season all three, season all three. But you can see how it's dripping off. Now, if you just do the egg whisking by like a fork, it'll just get more clumpier. So then you just stick, after you put it in the flour, you put it in the egg. Then you do your breadcrumb mixture. You kind of want to pack it on there. And you don't want the breadcrumbs to be too wet. So for whatever reason, it's too wet, too damp, before you start putting your fish or whatever you're frying up in there, let's try to add some more breadcrumbs just to get it drier. So I'm going to do that to the rest of these, and I'll see you in a bit. So I breaded all of my fish, and what I like to do is just spray a little bit of oil on the tops. Nothing crazy, just that. That way you get a little bit of oil, and the goal now is just to make this crispy. I have the oven on at 450. I'm going to put them in and check them, let's say about 10 minutes. I'm also going to stick my carrots on, since they are going to take a little bit longer to cook. I'm going to get those on first on a medium, low, depending on your settings. Usually for these stoves, or at least my stove, it's medium-ish, around the 2-3 mark, because it gets very hot for some reason. But I'm going to wait for this to heat up. Then I'm going to slap a little bit of butter in there and then put the carrots in. I'll also put the fish in the oven shortly. So I have about a tablespoon of butter, and then I'm just going to add my carrots. Basically let them cook up a bit, because right now they're rock hard. So you really want these soft, and it's going to take a little bit. I didn't even put my fish in yet. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, get these slightly soft, because I can always pull these off and finish cooking them shortly. So for now, we're just going to cook these up a little bit. We're going to throw some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder, and you can season them however you want. Now I'm going to show you how to make this easiest spicy mayo. And you can use this a lot on fish or sushi. Super easy. All you need is mayo, sriracha, and there's no real parts that I do. I just literally put some mayo, then I put sriracha, and you put it according to your spice level. So no exact measurements, just eyeball it. So I don't need a whole lot. I put maybe a tablespoon or so of mayo. We're just going to get in there with sriracha, and again, this is just how spicy you want it. So this is what it kind of should look like. You know, it can be a little darker if you want it spicier, a little lighter if you don't like it too spicy. Right now it's right at that border. It tastes good to me. So here's our carrots so far. You can kind of tell by the noise of them. Still got a little bit to go. And again, there's no real time that I do. They're still hard. So you want them a little bit soft. And taste them along the way. That's why I always cook a little bit extra, because I can taste it constantly. And the fish, that's still going. It's been in there. If you feel your carrots are getting a little too dried out, I mean, you can do whatever you want. And also, since they take a little bit longer to cook, I don't generally keep it on high too much. Get a little bit of browning. If it gets a little too dry, we just add another tablespoon or so of butter. But don't overdo it, because you're not looking too much for a sauce. You're just looking, keep it coated, keep it moist, season as you go, and continue to taste constantly. So after about 10 minutes or so, I took the fish out, started to brown slightly on the bottom. So I'm going to just flip it, stick it back in for another 5 minutes or so. Right now it's, I'd say, about 90% done. So my carrots are pretty much done. And you kind of want them, think of a potato that you're putting in a pot that you're boiling. You want it just about fork tender. And again, everybody's different with how tender, how hard they want their carrots. We kind of like them on the softer side, but still a little tiny bite. And I did season a little bit more with some salt and some pepper to give it perfect flavor for us. And again, everybody's different on how they cook, how they season, so I'm just telling you how I do it. So I'd say cook the fish, and I usually do it on the lowest rack, closest to the heating element. Do it about, I'd say 8 to 10 minutes, flip it, do it for another 4 or 5 minutes, and it gets out a little bit crispy. So yeah, that's pretty much dinner. So now I'm going to assemble everything. So I got myself an onion roll that I had left over, and what I'm going to do is make a little sandwich out of the fish. So I'm going to start off with some of the spicy mayo I made. Nice decent portion. Put that on the bottom bun. Some on the top bun. Okay. And now I just got some spinach. I'm just gonna throw some spinach on there. Boom. And we're just gonna take a fillet, stick it on there. Boom. If I had tomato, I'd stick tomato on there. But I'm gonna do that. Put some carrots down. So that's gonna do it for tonight's video. And we ended up with a fish sandwich, side of carrots. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe. And until the next trip, bye.